So last night, I finally tracked down a real IMAX theater. Apparently, for lack of a better term or phrasing, apparently there's real IMAX theaters and there are fake IMAX theaters. Well, I went to the only one real IMAX theater in St. Louis. I went to go see Rise of Skywalker for a second time, but I only went to see it for a second time to catch this 6-minute exclusive clip from TENET. And let me tell you, oh my god, I was so happy. Like literally before the screening began, some woman on the intercom came in and she was like, we're going to be playing exclusive footage from TENET coming up in a few moments. And like the IMAX theater we went to is called like an Omnimax. It's basically an IMAX theater that has a spherical screen, and it is fucking massive. So the entire time that TENET was playing, this entire giant screen was completely covered by the image, and it like completely like surrounded you in this dome effect. It was very like overwhelming. Honestly, if I had to describe this footage like in a word, I would just say overwhelming. Holy fuck! It opens up on, you know, we're in like a concert hall, like a symphony orchestra type of auditorium, right? And first off, it was huge. Okay, because the fucking image was so fucking massive. Like the image, the movie screen is so massive that you literally, like, to look at the whole image, you know, you have to look all the way over there to all the way over there. So constantly I'm like looking around because there's so much to look at. The screen is so fucking big. There's so much to look at. It's got to be like 6 stories tall or some shit. Like, it is gigantic, the imagery here. I mean, you were just being bombarded with like shaky cam, and you know, the pacing is so fast, and the imagery is just so aggressive, and it's just like assaulting you. You know what I'm saying? You almost feel like at any moment the frame is about to burst because of the intensity behind it, you know. The score is so pulsating. It is so ominous and just like dripping with menace and darkness. And the cinematography is just so like bleak and eerie looking. It's almost, you almost get the sense that this is like a sci-fi horror film as opposed to like an adventure globe-trotting sci-fi film, you know. There's just something so gothic and atmospheric about the footage here. Is unbelievable. And like the first thing we see is this concert hall, and I was just blown away by how big the imagery was and how huge, just how huge and spacious the inside of this hall looked. It just looks so massive, and there was just so much to look at. And it was just, to be honest with you, there was so much to look at from the imagery, because a lot of these shots are like big. You know, these are huge wide shots. So there's so much to look at, and what's happening is so singular and so specific and so in tune to whatever the fuck's going on inside this narrative that honestly a lot of this was incredibly hard to follow. But essentially it starts at this concert hall, and there's a terrorist attack, which this may be related to like a real life event, maybe? But yeah, so there's a terrorist attack where these people, I think they're each individually wearing a mask, I think. I can't remember. This all went by very, very fast. I apologize. There's a terrorist attack, and this group of people come in with like guns, and then so like a SWAT team, like these police, they arrive, but then like John Washington and gang as spies come in, and John Washington like pretends to be a part of the SWAT team, and there's a Well, we see this moment right here, and then we see this insane. There's this insane moment. There's this insane moment where we're seeing John Washington running towards the building, and you're seeing like all these other SWAT members, and the way that it's captured, you're just like, oh, we're in it. We're inside a Nolan. We're in a Nolan movie, baby. So basically, once John Washington is inside the building, like there's like these bombs being planted, and John Washington is there to retrieve some man, like some VIP. And a lot of times when when John Washington is talking, he's like speaking in code. Like he makes this weird reference to like Dusk and Twilight World. Very bizarre. I think this is going to be the most ambitious and complex Christopher Nolan film yet, or ever, but definitely one of the two. Because honestly, if it genuinely, like, you know, when you walk up to two people and they're sharing like an inside joke and you just have no idea what's happening because it's like a totally an inside thing between the two of them. Watching this sequence, I had no real concrete idea what was happening, but it felt so fucking meticulous and intricate, you know? It honestly kind of felt like there was like 5 key, substantially important things happening all at once. So John Washington, he retrieves the guy, and then there's a moment where someone, like John Washington, he's investigating, like he's looking at like a spent bullet case, or like a shell of a bullet is like laying on the ground, and somebody walks up behind him. I guess it's like a terrorist, and like they're about to kill John Washington, but a gadget is used, I believe, to manipulate time. Suddenly there's like this weird time reversal moment that is very difficult to explain, because the way that happens visually, it's just a mind fuck, and you're just like, what the fuck was that? So what I think happened is that a gadget was used so that this used bullet that was on the ground, when time reverses, it's almost like that used bullet on the ground somehow got up and went inside of the guy that tried to shoot John Washington. Moves on its own and like kills the guy behind him. John Washington does something with the bombs so that they blow up in a place that like doesn't hurt as many people. There's also, what the fuck, I totally forgot about this moment. There's also this fucking moment where the SWAT team, they release like this gas, and they release this gas that like puts like everybody to sleep. Like the auditorium is just full. It is just full of people, and they release this gas that just like knocks out everyone, puts everyone to sleep. And you within seconds you begin to realize, like, oh my god, this isn't CGI. Look at all these people falling asleep, dog. What the fuck? That is so creepy. It was so eerie. Like seeing this room full of people just like in the creepiest ways, just like falling asleep and becoming ragdolls. You know, I guess it was just easier to get people out or to protect people by putting them to sleep. I don't know, but that trip was just, that scene was just completely bonkers. Holy fuck. The fact that that was all practically shot. So anyways, John Washington, he gets rid of the bombs, or he lets the bombs explode in a safe way. So there's this brilliant moment where there's explosions, and I believe John Washington and the VIP, they leave in a bus or in a van, and there's a moment where somebody's talking. I think they're referencing John Washington, and they say something like, "Wait a second, that guy, he's not one of us." And then we cut to John Washington and the VIP in the van, and some kind of altercation happens, something happens. And then out of nowhere, we kind of like fade out to black or something, and then we cut to a trailer. That's kind of like a condensed version of this trailer, where we see shots like this or like this. We also see the now famous car flipping sequence as well.
Movie. I need to see this fucking movie.
Basically, that was the most exciting, bombastic, dizzying, chaos, frenzy, just the most fucking balls out. That was the most intense and exciting cinematic experience I've had in a while. When it comes to like a trailer. When it comes to like a trailer, like essentially this thing, granted, it's like one scene and a montage at the end, but in a way, it's kind of just one big ass trailer, if you get me. This was like the most exciting marketing for a future movie that I've ever seen, to be honest with you. I mean, honestly, my heart was like beating in my throat. Like I was. Like when this footage ended, like I was just like, like a fucking roller coaster just ended. That was just moving so fast that it was like uncomfortable and psychotic at points. Like Nolan is coming at you so fucking quickly that it's like, mate, where's the manual? Where's the manual? I'm not sure what's happening. Does anyone have the manual? It was, if I had to rate this footage, out of 10, I would give this like a 11 out of 10. It was simply extraordinary, jaw-dropping, goosebumps-inducing, mind-bending shit. Like honestly, trying to make this sequence coherent is exhausting. I'm definitely looking into like some theories online. I'm definitely reading some Reddit posts to try to wrap my mind around what the fuck all happened in this sequence, but let me tell you something. The fact that Christopher Nolan just showed me 6 minutes of his movie, and the fact that it blew me away, bit my mind, but I still don't feel spoiled, and I'm not even entirely sure what the fuck happened. A fucking cinematic master. I cannot wait to see Tenet. It is my second most anticipated film for next year. Oh my god. I honestly, it was really expensive tickets, but honestly, I might literally buy tickets to see Rise of Skywalker in the Imax theater just to see the Tenet footage and leave. Like, that's literally how good it was.